Hello, everyone. It's great to see you here. I'm here to let you know about my school and the students that I'm working with and what they're involved with and what problems they have. I'm here to share the information that I've learned. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Lorraine Flores. I was born in Texas, and then I moved from there. Growing up, I had two brothers and two sisters, so there was five of us, and I was the youngest. I was deaf. The rest of my siblings were hearing. I went to a mainstream school and I graduated, and then I went to Gallaudet, and that was my first deaf school. I did all 4 years of college there, and I majored in communication. I really wanted to teach ASL. And then I got my bachelor's degree, but I wasn't satisfied with that. I wanted more. So I went to another school to teach ASL, and I got my master's degree. All this time I was still teaching ASL to hearing kids. Also, while I was at Gallaudet, I was teaching students who worked at Gallaudet. I was teaching them signing so that they could communicate better. They had a lot of contact with deaf people with their work, so I would teach them ASL. So after teaching for 5 years, I wanted something different. I thought about changing my pace and teaching deaf kids. I was offered the job, so I moved to Fremont. I've only been here for 3 years, so I'm still pretty new, but it's been really nice. I've really enjoyed it here. The people here are just wonderful. It's been a really great experience for me. So now that I've explained to you about my background, I want to tell you a little bit more about what I do. I'm focused on ASL. I teach foreign students and deaf and deaf students who don't know sign language or know a little sign language. I teach them sign language. No matter what they're doing, I always divert them to ASL. If they gesture, if they know a little bit, whatever, I guide them towards ASL. That's my job, is to focus with these kids from when they're in kindergarten all the way up to high school, is to focus them to learn ASL. So now at the school there's a lot of Spanish kids, and it's really important for the parents to get involved. So I work with the Spanish kids from when they're little all the way to when they're grown, and we have monthly meetings. I want them all to have high confidence. I want them all to know that they're the same, even though they're from different countries. They're they're the same. Some are from Puerto Rico, others are from Nicaragua, some are from Cuba, some are from Spain. There's a variety of different kids, but it's all nice for them to get to know each other. I want them to feel good about themselves. I want them all to know that they're there to support each other. They know that they're the same, so they're relaxed. So we meet every month. In these meetings, if they have any problems or they need to vent about something, they can let it all out. That's what these meetings are for. This is a safe space for where they can share their experiences or their burdens. If students are picking on them, whatever. This is where they can let it all out. When they get out into the real world, I don't want them to be scared or don't know what to do. I want them to be able to express how they're feeling now so we can communicate and figure out what to do and know that they're not the only people that feel that way. We're here to support each other, and I emphasize that so much. Most of the parents don't sign, and they feel scared and they don't know how. So we're here to support them with the education. So I'm here to help encourage parents and show how important it is to learn sign language so they can communicate with their kids, so they can be involved. So we do monthly meetings. So they're not only just for kids to come and express themselves and vent. We have a lot of guest speakers, deaf speakers, Spanish speakers, people from different countries that come and they talk to the kids, and now these kids have somebody to look up to. They're like, oh wow, you're deaf in Spanish, and they come and they present. I had one Spanish woman come and present. That and also we get involved in the community. There's lots of different events. Like there's this huge celebration at this public school. They all have different like booths or different groups, and they all celebrate. All these different cities have these own celebrations. So one group asked us to come and sell water or drinks or soda, and then the kids could earn the money themselves. I thought it was a good idea to show them how to use money and then to learn those skills and how they profit from it. So now they're wondering, well, what do we do with all this money? So that meeting involved voting and how, for different people, figure out what they wanted to do. A lot of kids didn't understand that that's how the meeting works or that's how voting works. So they learn a lot. You know how there's a vice president and a president and a treasurer. A lot of our kids don't understand that that's how some meetings work. I had to explain what the president's role was, what the vice president's role were, and so some of the kids were wondering if, they wanted to be president of our group. So they had to figure out how to run a meeting and, lecture and all that stuff. And they were like, I want to do that. So what do I do? So I helped them come up with ideas to present about. And so when they started, they had a bunch of ideas and they presented. They were a little bit nervous, but eventually they got the idea of it. And by the second, third, fourth meeting, they were great. They have all their ideas. They know what to do. We sit down, they tell me their ideas, and I let them know if they're on the right path. They figured all this stuff out for their own, so it's great. The vice president does the same thing. They have to approve stuff, all the papers, and all that good stuff. So every month they come to these meetings prepared with all their information. They know they have to get their papers in by the close of business. And the money too. So when the money started increasing, they had money for the year, they decided to have a celebration. They all wanted to go out to have Spanish food. And thanks for getting everybody involved in a number of things. It was really nice. A big group went. So once they graduate and they leave and they go out into the hearing world, they understand how the system works. They understand different life skills and they realize what means what or what the goal is for this. or how these groups work, they can understand that. At the school, we start small and then we add more and more things. The younger kids, they want to join the bigger kids' activities. As long as they're there, they can get involved. Kids who are like 6 and 7, they see the president and the vice president, and they want that, and they understand how it's working. They see the senior kids, and they want to do all that. Their confidence increases. And that's great. They strive to get that, and I'm telling you, you just gotta wait. You'll get your turn. Keep coming to the monthly meetings, and they understand that. It gives them something to look forward to. We have a lot of kids here. About 20% of them, maybe 50 or 60%. Really, I'm not good with math. But the point is, there's a good percentage, maybe like 1/4. There's a large group. You can see there's a lot of different problems still. If they don't have a good organization, what's going to happen to them? A lot of problems will show up later in life. We have different people coming into lecture and to share their backgrounds and their experience and their work. So some schools, they have problems. One problem is they have these handkerchiefs in their pockets. So I asked the kid, I was like, "What's that for?" He's like, I guess he joined a gang." And I was like, "Gang?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, okay." Back in my head, I was searching for someone, a guest speaker who had experience with that, a deaf Spanish person. I found one, and I begged him to come to the school and present and share his background and everything, encourage the students to not join. So he came. He asked how old the kids were, and I was like, they're in high school. So I found one person who would come. That was really important for them to have for that organization. And they explained they warned it's not a good idea to join. And they asked a bunch of questions. Having a handkerchief is not a good idea. There wasn't much opportunity for that for people in gangs. They all accepted that. They all approved it. But there's no opportunity for the deaf. They say they don't care who you are or if you're deaf or Spanish, they will shoot you. So in the lecture, they warned all of them that it wasn't a good idea. It was for them just to take a little, like their 2 cents to understand. What else? We'll have a new organization at this deaf school. It's actually an outside organization in California. It's the LCL, or CLC. It's kind of the same thing as the organization at school. It focuses on many different issues. It helps with, when Spanish people are done, they've graduated, what do they do next with their job? Work. We help them, we have these services to help this group of people and help them with other issues. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of ideas thrown out. For example, for most plays, deaf people want to go and see it, but they're Spanish, so we want to focus on the plays for those people. We want them to be able to see them. Oh, and the CRS, the California Relay Services, they talk from English to Spanish. So it would be typed English to someone who speaks Spanish, and then they could change it to Spanish for me. There's a lot of Spanish people here. Okay. I feel like that's a good service to have here. You don't want to have to go to Texas and have those services here, then they charge me for the translation, the English to Spanish. I don't want that. So now the CLC, they understand. So there's outside services. So this is just some new information I just want to let you know about me and what I'm doing. But I need your help, please, to get involved with the communities. Ask questions how you can help. I want to encourage you guys to sign too. If you want, you can sign this Spanish petition, Spanish speaking to ASL. You can sign it. It's I have it here for you.